Here is a 2024 Audi RS6 Avant Silver Performance. This year, we get an increase in horsepower and torque. We get a Performance Bronze Edition. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and you can always tell an Audi because of the matrix LED headlights that come into play. Audi's single frame grille with the gloss black elements, you can blacken out the badge and add a black optic package or a carbon fiber package to make it look a lot more aggressive. But what's special this year is housed underneath this hood. A 4.0 liter TFSI bi-turbo V8 producing 621 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission, all-wheel drive or Audi's Quattro system, reaching 60 at 3.3 seconds, which is faster than Mercedes. You have to go up to near $200,000 Porsches in order to get the performance that's underneath the hood of this. And because this is over six figures, most people are not going to be concerned about the fuel, but you're receiving 17 mpgs for the city, 22 mpgs for the highway. This is a 21-inch 10-spoke aluminum wheel. They have options for 22-inch wheels, red brake calipers housing 10 pistons in the front. Ventilated, slotted, this is full track performance. When you're thinking about these numbers, just put it in perspective for a second. A Lamborghini Huracan gets around 2.5 seconds 0 to 60. So you're less than a second slower in this. Now you will have to option some features, in which we have the RS Sport Suspension Plus with dynamic ride control, the RS Sport exhaust system, you're going to hear that in a second, the red brake calipers, the color itself is going to be about $500. The weight distribution is at 56/44, but you're going to get a near 50/50 weight distribution because it's all-wheel steering, which means the rear axle will turn to about 5 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit more nimble and sharp on the bends. Standard has the RS Sport Air suspension for the front and the rear with dynamic ride control suspension, which is optional. And how else would this be a performance variant without Audi's sports rear differential? The exit of the RS6 Avant is a little bit more special too, because all of the RS get the oval exhaust outlets. You're going to get the grille pattern, front and rear parking sensors, a 360-degree reverse camera, LED tail lights. Top speed is about 155 miles per hour. So when you're thinking, well, that's not so fast, this is Governor. You could obviously unlock it, and I hate to say it, at 155 miles per hour, I don't know if you've ever been that fast, but I have. It's fast. I wanted to go faster the next lap around, and I said, you know what? It's too much for me. So having it governed at that, I think it's going to be a bit of a safe call, especially when you're spending around $150,000. Power liftgate going into 30 cubic feet of storage. And yes, that electronically will fold back. So it is pretty cool the way they have it set up. LED interior lights, bag holders on both sides, a 12-volt charger, storage nook, and underneath the floor, get a little bit of storage. It's not really meant for that. Split fold the rear bench in the back, so it makes it a lot more easy for this performance vehicle. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Power seat adjustment, heated, ventilated Volcana leather. The executive package adds the leather in the center on the dash, rear heated seats, manual cushion extensions, memory for the driver. Headroom and legroom. The executive package adds the soft closed doors and the heads-up display as well. Ambient lighting is going to surround where the Quattro badging is. Satin aluminum is going to be on the lower trim, and it's a two-part dashboard. Heads-up display, the Bang & Olufsen sound system will lift up as soon as you start the vehicle. Digital screens, you get them in Audi. It's a 10.1 MMI touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Click into vehicle. Audi Drive Select. you can go into dynamics, and you can also auto for the RS1 and RS2, which is a simple button on the steering wheel. The lower is going to be an 8.8 inch, which is derived for your climate control, which it's a quad climate control, heated ventilated seats, and also for the rear air conditioning and the heated steering wheel. Put it into reverse, you get a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can move it around by simply touching or slide it with your fingers so you can see any imperfections around the vehicle. And you have multiple different camera layouts to make it even more easier because it's a long vehicle and you don't want to scratch anything on this type of vehicle. You're going to get the leather on top of the shifter. Gloss black is going to be surrounding it. Ambient lighting, soft materials everywhere because of the executive pack. Open it up and you get a QI wireless charger, 2 USB ports, auto dimming rear view mirror, 2 moonroofs, leather wrapped steering wheel. It's multi-function, perforated RS badging, square bottom, and the 12.3 Audi virtual cockpit. You can change the layout and you can change the configuration. The dashboard and the door panel integrating together with the carbon structure inlays that go through the whole dash. Soft materials everywhere else, one touch up and down for all the windows, a medium-sized storage pocket, and a little storage pocket for the driver. Headroom for the back seats, and leg room. You're gonna have plenty of space if you're over 6 foot tall in this wagon. Dual climate control settings, heated rear seats, USB ports, a 12-volt cup holders for the armrest, and you'll have an air vent on the side pillars, manual shades, and that carbon structure comes into the back, and it's gonna be soft to touch where it needs to be. A medium-sized storage pocket with kind of a flask area carved out. Sliding into the center is a little tough because I am tall and the hump that's in the floor. You're going to be sharing some feet space. The rails are pushed up, but there's a bit of a hump right here, so you'll be sharing a little bit of feet, but in shoulder space isn't too bad. It does contour inward, and it's going to be a lot more sporty sitting into the center than on the sides. 621 horsepower back with 627 pound-feet of torque. That's 30 more horsepower than last year. 37 more pound-feet of torque. This car was already insane. 0 to 60, 3.3 seconds, Audi's quoting, which is very fast. It's a little low to the ground, but it's a wagon, so it's still an everyday car. This is just the everyday drive. In dynamics, so you can hear the exhaust, which sounds lovely. You sit down low, but it doesn't feel that way for the clearance so much. And before we get to the performance part, I'm gonna take you to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is obviously the increase in power. That's always a delight. The amount of room that you have in this, because it's like an actual functional vehicle in which usually when you get sports cars, you're not even going to have cup holders in them. So you're taken care of there. You can actually drive this a little bit more relaxed. It's going to be a rigid drive, don't get me wrong, but you're expecting to get that out of the performance because, I mean, 621 horsepower, come on. On the cons, you have to add pretty much every single feature to make this vehicle look good. I'm not a huge fan of these standard wheels. It's a 10-spoke design. It's just, I would personally upgrade it to a 22-inch wheel, probably do the black optic package so that way it looks a little bit more dynamic on the exterior, because when you start getting more of the base features, at least get the performance. So you either go one of the two routes, and then I would say just kind of cover up the satin aluminums on the exterior. Another con is the manual cushion extensions. Yes, you can option everything pretty much full power and you can get massage seats, but again, it goes back to the beginning. Like I was saying, you have to option a lot of features, even for the dashboard, the center cluster, and the armrest. To get the leather or that softer material instead of it being a little bit more sporty, that's an extra cost too. So I would say that's the big problem that I have right off the bat with the Avant, is you just have to pretty much custom it to make it more soft and luxurious. Give her a little go. That's just touching the gas. There we go. It's just too fast for its own good. The 10 piston brakes, it's okay, but it's a very heavy vehicle because of the engine and everything that's on, and the Quattro itself is heavy. Look at this. It's just a truly fun example to get out on the road. And if you're not into the exhaust note, can it be more quiet? Well, you'll just change the performance to comfort. You're not gonna hear that. Everything is getting the acoustic windows, so it's going to be a little bit more silent and composed. So it can still be a settled drive. I would be cautious driving performance with hot coffee because this thing has a lot of torque underneath it. And I like the braking to it, but as you notice, it isn't as airtight as other rivals in its category, but you also pay extra for those. So you're getting a bargain deal, and you're getting a practical yet track-driven vehicle all blended in. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Audi of Tampa for giving us this 2024 Audi RS6 Avant for our car review.